This video is a walkthrough of Alice, The Crown and the Key, an interactive fiction story where your choices determine what happens next. Here, I'm following one complete path from page 1 to an ending. This is just one version of events. Other choices lead elsewhere. If you'd like to play it yourself, start from page 1 using the link in the description. Let's begin. Page 1. You expect me to go down a rabbit hole? Alice asks. An actual hole, not even a metaphorical one. She looks up from the burrow's entrance and seems to notice you for the first time. You clear your throat. Well, it is traditional, you say. Alice folds her arms. I know Wonderland's supposed to be strange, but this is a cliché. Do you really think I'm going to crawl into the dirt like some storybook character? She looks at the hole once more. The burrow is carpeted with grasses and lined with dried leaves. It smells of earth and rabbit droppings. And yes, it is small, but not that small. Alice crouches down, moving with the casual certainty of a young woman who has already outgrown fairy tales. Well, what do you think? She asks. Would I even fit? To say, I think that you would. Turn to page 32. To say, maybe it's not a good idea. Turn to page 41. To say, there is a path. Turn to page 101. Page 41. You say, that's not a good idea. Alice frowns, looking down into the rabbit hole. She pauses. Why not? She asks, looking back up to you. Well, you might not fit, you point out. And even if you do, it might be a tight squeeze. And you don't know what you'll find down there. I'm not sure that's really a reason not to, Alice says. But you're right, I might not fit, and I'm not really in the mood for a tight squeeze. She stands up and looks at you. You glance at the burrow, thinking you might have missed out on something. Perhaps we look for some other way forward, Alice says. You find yourself with nothing to say and no idea where to go. Well, Alice says, looking past you. Maybe a game of chess, then. She runs off through a thicket of trees. Beyond the trees, you see something that looks like a bunch of people in fancy dress playing a game of chess on a life-size chessboard. To follow after Alice, turn to page 93. To stick your head in the rabbit hole, turn to page 113. To stand here and do nothing, do not turn the page. Page 93. Alice turns and marches off at a brisk pace. You hurry after her and catch up just as she pushes her way into a thicket of trees and thorn bushes. You follow, snagging your sleeve, ducking branches, and trying not to leave bits of yourself on the thorns. Alice moves like she knows the route already, which is rude of her, because you do not. As you emerge on the other side, you see a chessboard the size of a parade ground sprawling before you. The chess match is a lively spectacle of color and cosplay. The pawns are all girls dressed in anime-style cheerleader outfits, each in matching skirts and sparkling pom-poms, bouncing with coordinated enthusiasm as they move across the board. The other pieces follow suit with pop culture flair. Knights ride inflatable unicorns, bishops wear long trench coats and sunglasses like Matrix cosplayers, and the rooks resemble blocky Minecraft castles. The queens are commanding in dramatic villain capes, while the kings shuffle nervously in oversized Burger King crowns. Laughter and music fill the air, making the whole game feel more like a convention flash mob than a battle of strategy. Alice steps to the edge, hands on hips, considering the spectacle like a critic judging a dessert she intends to steal. Who's winning? She asks. You look around, but there is only you and Alice here. Alice looks at you. You feel obliged to render an opinion. To say, we are winning, turn to page 111. To say, they are winning, turn to page 213. To say, it's hard to tell, turn to page 31. Page 111. We are winning, you say, though you're not sure who you mean by we. Alice laughs, quick and sharp. But then her face drops as she looks over your shoulder. Tweedledum and Tweedledee, she whispers. Two burly men in sharp suits emerge as if from nowhere. The chess pieces freeze in place. Even the tinny music cuts out. "Your mother has been looking for you," one man says. His voice grates like stone dragged over stone. Alice folds her arms defiantly. "I'm busy. Can't you see?" "You will have to come with us," the other replies, reaching for her. But Alice is quicker. She slaps his hand aside and drives her knee up into his stomach. The impact lands with a thud, but he does not even flinch. She spins, fists flying, striking the second man square across the jaw. His head barely turns. Neither of them reacts to Alice's attacks. They simply adjust their ties, smooth their lapels, and stand, as if waiting for a petulant child to calm down. For Alice to dash into the forest, turn to page 191. To pull Alice back before the fight escalates, turn to page 314. To do nothing, letting the suited men recover and attack, turn to page 294. Page 294. A fist connects with the side of your head. Pain flashes white. Everything tilts and then collapses into black. You wake slumped in soft leather, the chair pressing close against your back. The room around you is lined with bookshelves filled with books that belong to other people's memories. Alice sits opposite you in a worn velvet armchair. She is dressed in a deep blue dress that buttons high at the throat, with a silver chain glinting against the fabric. A slim notebook rests open on her lap, and she turns a fountain pen idly between her fingers as she studies you. "Well now," she says at last, her voice both amused and disappointed, "I didn't take you for a pacifist." She makes a note in her notebook, the scratch of the pen unnervingly final. Then she looks up again, eyes steady. "You'll have to turn back to page 1 and try again. You have come to the end of your journey. As Alice has just said, you will have to return to page 1 to try again." And that's where this path ends. Thanks for watching. This is a read-through of one possible path through my interactive fiction story, Alice, The Crown and the Key. Other choices lead to different scenes, different outcomes, and different endings. If you'd like to experience the story properly, by making the choices yourself, you can start from page 1 using the link in the description. If you'd like to support the project, a like or subscription helps more than you might think.